Hey, I'm Julie with Habibi Bears, and I'm getting ready to take 3 of my little puppy charm school students on a socialization walk. Come along with me for the ride, and let's talk about what socialization should look like for your new puppy. I'll see you in a minute. I thought I'd bring you along with me while I'm walking these little cutie pies, just to talk a little bit about socialization and what this looks like. In our new Going Home Puppy Handbook that every puppy receives, I wrote an entire socialization protocol to really help people understand what socialization means and what it is. Now, here we go. We're just taking a walk down the road, and we're going to expose the puppies in a safe place to lots of sounds. Here's one of our neighbors going by in their gorgeous car. Hello, Tom. And I've got treats here. Now, everybody knows the paw tree freeze-dried treats are what one of our families, Miss Amber, said Luna thinks is crack. So when you treat your puppy, you don't do the whole thing. See how it cracks and breaks into little pieces? Tiny crumbs is all you use. So these will work for the entire day, 1 per puppy. It's really, really that easy. They'll last for a long time. These are from Paw Tree. Socialization, let's talk about it. I decided to create this program because I noticed that a lot of families were overdoing it with socialization and maxing out their puppies, or they were causing a problem where puppies expected to say hi to every person and every dog that they meet, to the point that they were so reactive. So I decided to go back to the drawing board and create a socialization program. This is going home with every puppy, regardless if you do our course or not. Now, socialization is not about saying hi to every dog and every person they meet, and that's where people get things wrong. You have a couple of extremes that can happen. If you have the really outgoing, friendly puppy, that means they're going to be so excited, and they will just think that every time they see somebody, they get to say hi. Every time they see a puppy, they get to say hi. And if they don't, they're going to get really excited and not understand why you aren't letting them say hi, and they'll be very reactive. There's a puppy over here too. On the other end of the spectrum are our puppies that are a little more observant and watchful, and they like to take things in. Some people call them shy or timid, and I don't really think that that's the correct term when we're talking about dogs. It's more about being aware, emotionally aware, a little more than other dogs. Hi! So those dogs, if you force them to say hi to every dog and every person, this is a little being that likes to sit back and take things in. And if you are forcing them to say hi and taking them up and letting people touch them, it's going to overwhelm them to the point that now they're going to have a negative association, and they're not going to want to be out in the public, and they'll start having anxiety. We've seen this happen a lot with families who misunderstand what that means about socializing a dog, preparing them for therapy or preparing them for service work. Especially with a dog that's going to be your personal service dog. If you are doing that with your dog, that's actually the opposite that a service dog needs. Service dogs, as you know, are supposed to be able to sit in public calmly, and you're not supposed to go touch other person's service dogs, right? Because they're working. But we've had families who were potentially training a puppy for service work, and they threw them over the edge by having lots and lots of people coming up and touching them and saying hi and putting their hands out to them, asking the dog to touch them. And when your dog is overwhelmed or really not in the space that they want to say hi to lots of people, that can really scare them and create a negative association. And then furthermore, it can go down the drain for that poor little pup. If you don't understand their body language, now that little pup doesn't feel you're advocating for them, so they've got to escalate the situation with a growl or a bark. And if you're still trying to get them to like this person that's coming at them with their hand out, that dog could end up biting because you've missed all those signs along the way. Well, that's not what we want for any dog. And the way we get around that is by advocating for that dog. I really recommend understanding their body language. That's how they will speak to you, is through their body language. And there's a lot of books. I have books that I recommend on our site for you to understand that, you can also watch lots of videos, dog body language, look it up. And to avoid that, here's what socialization is. It's not saying hi to every dog and every person you meet. It's taking them out into those experiences, into those places where you know they're going to be, and just letting them take it in. So this is what we're doing right now. We're walking down a country road, and there's horses over here. We've had cars walking by. You notice the whining has stopped. There's an airplane flying above. And these puppies are just taking it all in their safe environment. I recommend using strollers and carriers. Now, majority of our families want our dogs so they can either do one of two things. Either be a therapy dog, and that means you need the social dog that likes everybody. Or they want their dog to be a personal emotional support or psychiatric assistance dog. And that could fall into many different categories, from autism support to just an emotional support. But whatever the case may be, those two trajectories look different. Your dog that you want to do therapy work, you have to nice and easily take them out and understand what their cues are when they've had enough, and make sure that you end that socialization on a positive note. Socialization experiences should last about 15 minutes. We're 6 minutes in, so I'm almost halfway there. And I'm going to turn around and we're going to go back so that we make that 15-minute mark count. 15 minutes is about all we want for puppies, and this is a socialization experience for them. I like to take my pups that are getting ready to go home out in carriers in the car so they get used to that before the flight, or in strollers like this too. And this is really helpful for them to take in different environments. We'll move to different places such as shopping malls, maybe strip malls that have, outdoor shops, coffee shops, etc. But they're always safe inside their carrier, and that's a socialization experience. Socialization is not taking them out and letting everybody touch your dog. That's not always a good idea. In fact, it's never a good idea. When do you introduce your puppy? So there's a dog barking. This is so good for them to see. Oh, big dogs are barking. And then we treat them and give them a treat. But that's something that you would want to be doing. So socialization and meeting other animals and other people, we're going to get into that slow and steady. So that would be, you use your sign that you would put on the door that I've recommended putting up so everybody understands your puppy's in training, and not to go up and touch your dog. Ignore the puppy and let the puppy come to them at their own free will. We want to give the puppy the opportunity for consent. So slow and easy with your pup. Just like when you bring home a newborn human baby, you want to have that first week with just the family, keeping it quiet, getting used to being in the home with a new baby. Well, you're going to do that with your new puppy too. So we really say no on having big parties and lots of people coming to meet your new puppy. That's very overwhelming for them. We want the puppy to have a secure attachment. And in order for that to happen, you need to meet their needs in order. So we look at the hierarchy of dogs' needs. And at the very base is biological needs. Look at that little guy. Hi, buddy. That's Zeus. That's little Zeus. Meeting their biological needs is making sure that that puppy has ample food, water, a safe place to sleep. Where do they go potty? Making sure that puppy knows where all those things are. In your going home book, I have laid out a 5-week protocol that you can follow. And every day you have little simple things to work on with your puppy. We're not going to start out off the bat with lots of training of sits and downs and come and commanding. That's not how you develop your bond. How you develop your bond is by first letting them know they're loved, by showing them where they go potty, that they always have food and water, simple things like that. That's how we show the puppies love. Then we meet their emotional needs. That's enrichment. Do they have things to chew on? Do they have toys to play with? Do they have things to keep their minds busy and following the schedule that we sent home. And then after that is love. That comes up higher. And you'll notice when you look at the hierarchy of dogs' needs, the very last thing is training. And that is how unimportant that is in the whole scheme of things when you're developing your bond with your dog. So our process is an approach that is very puppy-centric. We want the pups to feel secure, to feel that they can trust you, and for you to feel that love. When you make that heart connection with your puppy, the rest all falls into place perfectly. So for socialization, you're going to see in your booklet, pick 3 things each week, and it's a 15-minute, that's it. See how easy this is? Every day, look at the list and pick something new. And just don't overdo it. We had a family whose new puppy, they didn't understand how puppies develop. And instead of developing the attachment with the puppy and focusing on the bond, they started out immediately with over-socialization. And the puppy just melted in that situation. It didn't do so well. They were very overwhelmed because they didn't feel that they had anybody they could look to, that they could trust, because their needs weren't being met in order. So we started back to the basics, and that is with the bonding techniques and the rituals that we have laid out in the program. And then from there, that little puppy was able to attach to his person and move forward. And now he's doing much, much better. There's a lot of behaviors that you can avoid, even cropping up with your pup, when you meet their needs in the order that they need them. And it looks different than what you would think. Humans have different needs than dogs. So that's the process. All right, we are done with our socialization walk. And these little puppies did great. I just heard a little bit of whining here and there, but overall, they took everything in. They got to see a car drive by, airplanes, sprinklers, a big dog barking. They got to smell horses and see a little dog barking at them too. Remember, the reason why they don't need to say hi to every person and everything is their biggest sense is their sense of smell. So they're taking it all in by smelling these things as we go by, and that's all they need. Meeting people and meeting other dogs is introduced very slowly, very planned, so that we know that we are setting them up for success. All right, I'm Julie. I'm ready to put these puppies down for their nap. It's time for crate training. Thanks for being with me. Take care.